Dawn clung to the horizon like a pale promise, mist drifting low over the great rift's cracked earth. Even in this dim light, the world stirred. Crickets finished their nocturnal song. Distant calls of nightbirds hushed with the sun's approach. Homo habilis, slender, nimble, thinkers of tools though still prey of many kinds, made their way toward the waterhole. Bones dry, tongues cracked, they followed the scent of moisture carried on the rising heat. Among them was Nari, a young habilis female whose hands were calloused from digging for tubers and cracking nutshells. Her eyes, sharp in twilight, scanned the surrounding bush as she moved with others, elders, children, a pair of brothers trailing behind. They had dashed from the far ridge, past fields of yellowed grass where the predators lurked, to reach water before the midday blaze. This waterhole was a gathering place, life's artery in a land that demanded respect. Nari crouched at the water's edge, cupped hands trembling slightly as she drank. The water, cold and sweet, soothed her parched throat. Beyond her reflection, ripples formed, a ripple of wind across the surface, then something darker in the shallows. A crocodile's eye just above the water, still and calculating. Nari didn't see it at first, its pale skin blended with stone and mud, its tail a shadow in the murk beneath. Up on the bank, the rest of the group lingered. Some gathered fruit, some shaded the little ones. An elder, Ketu, stood sentinel, scanning ash-colored rocks and acacia shadows. He raised his hand, whispering warning, "Not yet, not moving too close." But thirst overcame caution. Another habilis named Toko approached, stepping on a small branch that cracked loudly. That sound carried, echoing across the water. The crocodile tensed. Beneath the surface, its limbs folded, tail flicked. It slid forward, mouth wide, jaws opening in the silent water. Nari jerked her head back at the last moment, saw the flash of teeth before pain, before the weight. Water splashed, heat erupted, cries came, sudden, sharp. The crocodile clamped onto her foot, dragging her forward. Another cry, this time from behind, a leopard pounce, muscles coiled like springs in the bush. Its golden fur caught in slivers of early light. The leopard's jaw snapped at Nari's shoulder. She screamed, one hand up, blood blossoming on skin. The group scattered, young and old alike. Toko tried to pull her back. Keita shouted, brandishing a heavy stick, but danger demands silence first. The crocodile yanked her toward the water, the leopard clawed, teeth glinting. A tug-of-war of death, the crocodile shrinking against dry rocks, wanting drag, the leopard pulling from above, ears pinned back, claws extended. Time seemed to stretch, the surge of terror, the scent of wet earth and blood, the sky aching overhead. Nari fought, hands grabbing soil, fingers clutching rock. Toko finally seized her arm, pulling with desperate strength. Ketu hoisted a rock, hurling it at the crocodile's head. It glanced off its armored hide. The crocodile let go momentarily, surprised, releasing Nari's foot, but the leopard's teeth bit deeper. With one final effort, Nari surged away, her body limp, arm broken, her foot badly mangled. She fell onto her belly, gasping. Silence followed the chaos. Birds took wing. The waterhole resumed its mirror-glass calm, the crocodile receded beneath the water, the leopard slipped back into the bushes, satisfied, or at least sated for now. The others gathered around Nari, trembling, bleeding, hearts pounding. Her brother, Jahi, knelt beside her, pressing a leaf to the wound, binding loose cloth around the torn flesh. Ketu scooped water, trying to wash away grit and pain. The children huddled, eyes wide in horror. Sunlight grew stronger. Nari's breathing was shallow. She looked up at the sky, felt the heat on her skin, tasted salt in her wound. But she lived. Her group lifted her, carried her to shelter beneath acacia shade, binding her more securely, whispering prayers to the spirits of earth and water. For many hours, she drifted between pain and lucidity. Memories, digging roots, seeing the laughing faces of children, hearing the mother's lullaby. All now stained with red. Night returned bearing cool air, shadows soft. The wounds festered, infection threatened, but the group tended her, eruptions of ant poultice, boiled water, rest. Nari slept. Dreams of water turning to red, jaws clamping shut, claws retracting. But morning found her still alive. Weak, wounded, but alive. The group gathered around, bringing fruits and tubers, passing hands, giving support. She opened her eyes at dawn's light. They smiled. Relief trembled. Yet she knew something changed. The world was more immediate in danger, the predators more cunning, her body full of scars. But she survived. And survival would teach her something new. The edge of dawn. In the weeks that followed, Nari's foot grew stiff. The bone might mend, but she walked with a limp. The group moved more deliberately, avoiding long treks. Keita led them on safer routes, shady paths, dense tree cover, away from open ground and pools of water without clear sight. But time marches on, food is needed, water cannot always hide. One dawn, as pale light touched the canopy, the group set out toward a distant meadow where fresh grass and fruiting trees perched on a gentle slope. Nari, wrapped in cloth, limped along, leaning sometimes on Toko's arm. Jahi, her younger brother, stayed close. The air smelled of dew and promise. They crested the ridge, saw below a wide plain stretching to the lake's edge. Herds of antelope grazed. Smoke from a small fire drifted from the direction of another Habilis group. Possibility, trade, stories, perhaps threat. Keita paused. Decision time. Cross the plain for open grass, or skirt around wooded edges. The group chose safety, the trees. The woods were alive, monkeys chattering, birds calling. Sunlight flickered through leaves. For a moment, there was peace. Nari felt strength in the rustle of leaves, the breath of trees. She picked fruit with one hand, shared with Jahi. She smiled, tasted sweetness, felt lightness in the moment. It was almost normal. But danger sleeps in patience. A leopard watched from high in the branches, muscles taut, eyes fixed on Nari's limp gait. Crocodiles lurked in waterholes ahead. Keita marked them, choosing detours. But the leopard needed only one chance. It descended silently, stalking along the edge of light and shadow. Jahi paused to pull fruit down, broke a twig. Crack. The leopard tensed. Nari hears nothing, but feels something, a shift, a rustle. Then the flash of tawny fur, teeth. The leopard leaps. A hunting dance begins again. Toko yells, lifting a sharpened stick. But the predator is fast. It lunges for Nari's recovering leg. Pain flares as claws pierce cloth, flesh. The group reacts. Stones, sticks, loud cries. Monkeys scatter, birds erupt. Nari screams. Jahi shields her, taking a claw's slash across his arm. Toko strikes at the leopard's skull. The blade misses, leaves cut, claws graze skin. The leopard twists, shakes its head, finds something blooded, then disengages, retreating into the shadows, possibly seeking easier prey. The group gathers Nari, bleeding again, but this time less severely. The wound is cleaned, bound. Jahi sobs. Toko holds him. Keita inspects the ground, sniffing, scanning for tracks. Silence except for Nari's breathing, soft, shuddered. As dusk falls that evening, the group sets up a small camp. Fires crack, fruits are shared, the children lie close to mothers. Nari watches the fire, thinking of bones and scarred flesh, of predator claws and crocodile jaws. But also of laughter, of fruit, of survival. She closes her eyes and recalls Keita's voice. We live not because we are strong, but because together. Overnight she begins moving better, limping less. The wound heals. But something deeper heals too. Courage, awareness. She learns to stop at broken branches, to listen for the rustle of bushes, to cross water only in safe spots, to climb low trees when danger nears. Toko and Jahi learn from her. The children watch. One morning, Nari awakes to find tracks around camp. Leopard prints by the water, crocodile teeth marks on a crushed bone near the lake. Reminders that predators are never far. But she does not wake in fear. She wakes alert, resolved. She stands, touches her foot, tests weight. Pain still there, but strength also. She looks toward the horizon, smoke rising again, silhouettes moving. The world is unchanged in its wildness. But she has changed. She belongs. She lifts her head to the sun, to the sky, to the wind that touches the plains. She takes a fruit, bites it, tastes life. Somewhere beyond the ridge, predators stir. But she knows the dance. She knows the risks. And she walks onward.